All those in favor of Order 1570? Passes unanimously. Moving on to Order 1571, an order approving a vitulers license for Cho Enterprises doing business as China Garden, 6 Stillwater Avenue. I have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I have one question, Bill. Were the sewer taxes paid today?
I would defer to Sophie's information on that.
Oh, I guess it has been, they had been paid.
I said that they were coming in Monday morning. I don't know if they have.
I will admit, I do not know. But what we will do is we can hold the vitulers license until we get the money.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, take a vote on Order 1571. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Moving on to Public Hearing B, to consider a Class 4 restaurant malt liquor only liquor license and vitulers license for Verve Inc., 2 Mill Street. Bill?
Yes, all inspections have been done. I believe that the malt liquor license is new. Is it new for the business, Abe?
It's been a year. This is our renewal.
Yeah. But staff recommends approval.
Great. Is there anyone that wishes to speak for or against? Susan?
Again, flew in the face. As much as I enjoy an excellent burrito, it's still the same owners as the Sportsman's Bar and Grill, where it's mistreated as a patron.
Thank you, Susan. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against?
I don't really have much to say other than I'd be happy to answer questions if anyone has anything.
The liquor license, so that's for wine and
Just for beer only at that location, yeah.
from a special brewery?
We would have to do a whole other draft line and have a separate walk-in for it, so it doesn't make sense at this time, but we're happy for people to bring burritos downstairs to the brewery itself. And then otherwise, we have beer in cans upstairs.
But we can't have beer at breakfast then.
You can have beer at breakfast because the state law says at 6 a.m. we can serve you a beer. So you can have a can of beer, just not an OBC beer.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Here, seeing no one, I'll close Public Hearing B and move on to Order 1572. Order a Class 4 restaurant malt liquor only liquor license for Verve Inc., 2 Mill Street. Could I have a motion, please?
Move approval.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of Order 1572? Passes unanimously. Moving on to Order 1573, an order approving a vitulers license for Verve Inc., 2 Mill Street. I have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Go.
I think I beat you, Jeff. Yes.
Depends on what Nancy writes down. Any discussion? Take a vote on Order 1573. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Moving on to Public Hearing C, to consider a Class 4 tavern liquor license and special amusement permit for music, dancing, and entertainment for Timothy Gallen, doing business as Black Bear Brewery, 19 Mill Street, Suite 4. Bill?
Yes, all inspections have been performed. I believe the fire marshal had some concerns about replacing a door in the back, so I think he was recommending that it be conditional. Other than that, staff recommends approval.
Yeah.
Because this is a state license, just simply asking for your approval, you cannot condition it. However, what we put in the background is that, talking with Tim Gallen, he intends to have the door switched, just a swinging in the wrong direction, by the end of this week. So our intent would be to hold the license until we are able to verify that the door is swinging in the correct position, and then giving it to him to send on to the state.
Okay. Would anyone wish to speak for or against the issuing of this license? Having no one, I will close Public Hearing C and move on to Order 1574, order approving a Class 4 tavern liquor license for Timothy Gallen, doing business as Black Bear Brewery, 19 Mill Street, Suite 4. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Right. Any discussion, council? Hearing no one, I'll take a vote on Order 15-74. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Moving on to Order 1575, order approving a special amusement permit for music, dancing, and entertainment for Timothy Gallen, doing business as Black Bear Brewery, 19 Mill Street, Suite 4. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
This one could be conditioned if you so chose.
So this is the entertainment.
This is a local permit.
I think it should be conditional.
Yep.
It's because it's a safety issue. I think.
Okay, so we want a friendly amendment to the motion? Judy, do you want to?
I move that we approve the order with a friendly amendment. Wait, no, I don't know what I want to say. I don't want to approve it until it has been verified to be safe. The door has been done.
Okay, so conditioning
Condition
Order 1575,
on installation of a door in a proper manner.
okay? So I always get this wrong, Nancy, so I need to take second on the friendly amendment? Just amendment?
Friendly amendment.
Okay, all right,
As long as the maker and the second are approved.
okay. So I guess I'll just take a vote on 1575 with the friendly amendment. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to public hearing D. To discuss the proposed 2015-2016 capital budget.
That would be me. I'm just waiting. We're going to do a little staff change in the back. So this public hearing was put in place after discussion with council when some questions came up during the public hearing process after the budget had been pretty much worked by council, by citizens who wanted to have a little bit more understanding of the capital budget before we went through the process, to give council an opportunity to get some feedback before we went through the whole budget process. So this is very brief, but just a kind of a flavor of where we are with the capital budget. So I think one of the things that's important for folks to understand is that the capital improvement plan that the council will adopt in June is actually for 5 years. It's for the coming year, FY16 through FY20. What we're going to talk about today are simply those projects that are in this year's capital plan. So the things that would be funded through the upcoming budget. The other thing I would just say is that this is a draft, a proposal. Council has not discussed the capital budget yet. They just got it last week. So our capital budget, it has a reserve, a revenue component, so we know where the money is coming from. There's also the expense budget, and we break that down into 4 separate components. Capital equipment, so things that we use and drive. Infrastructure, roads, bridges, sewer lines, facilities, and then reserves, capital reserves. We also run 2 different budgets with the town. We run the town budget and also the water pollution control facility budget. It helps if I don't transpose WPCF.
Yeah.
So on the town side, this year, the total budget is $1,480,000. And I've broken it down there so you can see the bulk of that is spent on infrastructure, with equipment coming in second. just so I can also clarify, reserves are those tax dollars that we appropriate, raise and appropriate this year to put away for future expenditures. So our equipment, we have the financial software that council has talked about at committee level, and our auditor has implored us to change. This is the cost to change to Trio software. We've talked about that quite a bit in council committee. We also have the 5-year lease payment for the fire engine that arrived here just a few months ago. This is the second lease payment of 5. The pickup truck that hauls the boat and the hazmat trailer is also scheduled to be replaced this year. I think Chief St. Louis can talk a little bit about some help that we might be able to get from the state of Maine and Penobscot County to help offset that cost. We also have in the fire department the self-contained breathing apparatus, the air bottles. They only last for so long, and we have many that need to be replaced. And a few years ago, we came to council and talked about the fact that it would make sense to try to do that as a capital project. The police department is scheduled to turn over 2 cruisers this year. They also have to replace our tasers. They have gone beyond their warranty period. We are also putting in, we also put in a request for police video recording equipment, and if you look at that in the capital budget, it includes the body cameras as well as software and equipment to help us download and to have a similar system for the cars as well as the body cameras. So we'll be fully integratable. We also are scheduled to replace the front end loader for the Public Works Department. We're hoping we can eke that through to the end of the fiscal year. So for the equipment purchases, we are at $448,000. About little over 200,000 of that, as you'll see, will come from equipment reserve to offset that cost. Infrastructure, one of our most important elements of our capital budget. So important that Rob Yerkes is going to come up and do a really nice presentation for you.
Well, that's really nice. Let me give you a presentation. Rob Yerkes, Public Works Director. So there are 8 projects on the infrastructure plan for this season. And we've prepared, with the help of Bell Ryder, a little GIS map of all the locations. We'll just sort of step through it here. The first project is on Crosby Street. This project will run from Park Street to Peters Street. It's a reclaim of the existing pavement, so we'll grind the existing pavement up down into the subgrade, replace all the curbs, do a little bit of work with the sidewalks. There is a drainage issue. That picture there shows the condition of Crosby Street right now. Doesn't really do it justice. There's also a drainage element to this project that we're going to do. On the piece between Pierce and Peters, the curb over time has blocked water up against the subgrade, and so over time it's started to heave that up. The road's squeezed down, and the water's just kind of tearing that road apart. And so I'm proposing to run some under drain between Peters and Pierce with some surface drainage as well, try and take care of that water, which will increase the longevity of the project. So that project, total budget is $155,000. 25 of that was already programmed, 30 of that was already programmed in this current fiscal year. So the request for this current budget year is $125,000. And like I said, that's a reclaim, all new curb, 4 inches of pavement. Questions on that one, or should I go through the whole thing and, no, keep going? Okay. The next one's Hamlin Street. Hamlin Street, same situation, pretty poor pavement conditions. The sidewalk is also in pretty rough shape. This project is a reconstruction of the sidewalk, new curbs, and a shim and overlay of the pavement surface with some patching in places, in the worst places. This project also includes Mayo Street. So there's a small, short street that goes off Hamlin Street that will also get a new pavement surface. That, again, is Mayo Street. So once again, photos aren't really doing justice to the condition of the roadways there. But the next one is a drainage project. We took 4 smaller projects and combined them into one. I'm sorry. Hamlin Street is $70,000. $72,500. Yeah. Working with, recognizing that we're kind of falling behind a little bit in our drainage storm sewer system work, the infrastructure side of it anyways. We took 4 relatively small projects, grouped them together and made one. A lot of similar work, so this should help us do these smaller projects as a group cheaper overall. The first one is Goodrich Drive. This is over by the pool, right at the corner of Goodrich Drive where it goes into Westwood. There is a drainage structure right there on the corner that runs back toward the back side of the pool property. That's corrugated metal. It's falling apart, starting to come in pieces. So we've got sinkholes where either the pipe is separated, or in some cases actually the bottom is completely gone. So it's started to erode around the pipe. So this project would replace that replace the drainage structure as well as the pipe. The next one is Harrison Avenue. This is a situation where we have a drainage ditch that goes down toward the Penobscot River and actually passes over our sewer interceptor line. Joe's got a structure that is actually located underneath that tree that we've found. And there is some very significant erosion that's actually it's exposed the concrete vault that the interceptor is in and actually begun to undercut it. So this is kind of a tough situation. And so this project would stabilize that ditch line, expose the structure so that Joe can access it and take care of that situation. Next one is Sunrise Terrace. As you recall, last summer and into the fall, we did a pretty significant reconstruction of that entire Sunrise Terrace, Noyes Drive, and the other side there. We basically rebuilt that whole neighborhood. This section of pipe actually drains everything that we collect in that neighborhood. So this pipe runs out the back toward Forest Avenue and then falls into a ditch line that eventually takes it back down to the Stillwater River. This again is corrugated metal pipe that's been there a really long time, has rotted out, significant erosion issues around it. It's so bad that in places, as you can see there, those two pipes used to be connected. So we've got a pretty significant erosion issue there that needs to be taken care of. And this project would replace about 200 feet of pipe and a drainage structure associated with that line. And that would complete the reconstruction of that whole system. So, and then the fourth one is a situation on Margin Street where we have an outfall that runs pretty much directly into the Penobscot River with a very significant erosion issue, as you can see there. This project would fix that situation. We'd repair the erosion and line the ditch with stone so that it doesn't happen again. So those four projects all told come to a budget of about $70,000. The next one is Godfrey Drive.